All right, so welcome back. What episode is this, Jill, here?
I think 5.
Episode 5. Wow, hey, almost
Yeah.
that's five weeks of straight content.
Fire content, yeah.
But we already have 3 likes on this page though for this specific video, so I think people are pretty pumped to have Anna Zhang, the OG president for me at least. She's the one that hired me to do my thing with the podcast and stuff. So we're excited to have her on today to talk about a project that she's been working on called Keys for COVID. And I won't explain too much about it because a bunch of news outlets in Edmonton have actually done that job for us and created some pretty cool videos. So we'll pop one up on the screen here and show it to you guys.
A classically trained pianist and University of Toronto
student is home in Edmonton during the pandemic, making music and making a difference. As Darcy Seaton tells us, your song requests may help feed a family.
Anna Zhang has always loved playing the piano.
I started taking piano lessons when I was 5, so I've grown up all my life playing music.
She would go on to build an impressive resume.
I'm classically trained as well.
These days, the 22-year-old is playing for a cause.
To use my music, which is something that I was working on and playing and having a lot of fun with anyway, to see if I could do something good for the community.
So she started a website called Keys for COVID. Make a donation, request a song, and Anna will play. Hour after hour, she plays, often collaborating with other artists.
Which is hilarious because that would have been my parents' dream growing up because I hated practicing.
The response has been positive, says Anna, including high praise from former Premier Rachel Notley. Anna's already completed 50 song requests, many of which are learned on the spot.
I listen to it and I just kind of sit at my piano and try to figure out it. A lot of the times it comes naturally to me.
The project is just 2 weeks old and already she's raised over $2,000, with 100% of the proceeds going to various food banks in Alberta and Ontario.
Growing up, I used to do a lot of volunteering with food banks, and they're faced with a whole bunch of different challenges. A lot of people aren't donating anymore. So I felt like that was kind of the way that I could make the biggest impact.
Which is music to one's ears.
My goal for this whole thing was just to be able to contribute in some manner.
Darcy Seaton, CTV News.
All right, hopefully we're all off mute there. But Anna, there she is. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Josh and Joe.
We're so happy to have you. So nice to see you.
We're glad to have you.
Yes, so nice to see you guys as well, even if it's virtually.
Yeah, I know. So do you have like a PR person handling all this media attention that you're getting?
No, I was actually hoping to hire VP PR from UAMA, Josh, you. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't.
Is it pretty cool though to like actually have like be reached out to by these people and get to be interviewed by them?
Yeah, no, it's super. It's been a huge surprise. I really didn't expect it to get this much attention. I thought the person that would pay the most attention to it would be like my mom. So it's definitely been like a very, very good, very exciting to have happened. So
yeah, I think it's super cool too, since you go to the University of Toronto, how you can kind of reach like 2 different sides of the country with this too, because I'm sure you have like friends in Ontario supporting it and here supporting it, of course. So that's awesome how you can really like reach across the whole country with that.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's kind of that's kind of my my intention with that too, is just at first it was very much so like targeted towards my friends. So I wanted to give them an opportunity, both my friends in Alberta and those in Ontario from school, to be able to make an impact and contribute to somewhere near their home too. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So tell us about like why specifically food banks and how you kind of came up with the idea.
Sure. So I specifically picked food banks because for me personally, I used to do a lot of volunteer work with food banks growing up. So they kind of were something that was like closely connected to me already, but also
Oh, she's lagging.
He's lagging.
No, I was worried this might happen, but
Okay.
to
we'll give it some time here. I'll message her in the chat. Oh,
Hi, sorry. Did you guys lose me for a second?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So anyway, I picked food banks because, yeah, I used to grow up and volunteer with them a lot. But also when I was thinking about the way that I could make the biggest impact with this project, I thought about of different types of industries. I thought about healthcare. I thought about senior homes as well. And I actually went and I called a bunch of these different organizations, associations. So I called senior homes, I called hospitals, I called doctor clinics, and I called food banks. And it seemed to me like the area that needed my help the most was food banks. Because, for example, with healthcare workers, if the government wasn't able to get face masks, I definitely couldn't get face masks any better than they could. So I felt like food banks was kind of where the project that I was wanting to create could make the biggest impact. And it would also give kind of people a chance to make a direct impact in their community as well. So that's why I ultimately chose that.
Were you expecting it to take off so quickly and like so much? Are you like
no, not at all. Yeah, no, definitely not. When I first started the project, I said to my mom, if this raises $50 and I get 2 song requests, then I will consider this a success. So I really went in with the intention of like this to raise $50 and have like 2 song requests from like my mom and like my friend or something. So it's definitely gotten a lot bigger than I thought it would. And I'm very, very grateful and excited about that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that you're so good at playing piano, because I was thinking we should have you do the intro for the podcast. Zhang original.
Even good.
No, I like the intro for the podcast as it is.
Did you always play like consistently growing up though, piano, or is it something that you just kind of fallen back into?
Yeah, so I started taking lessons when I was 5, and I played pretty consistently and took lessons and did competitions and exams and everything up until the end of high school for me. And then when high school ended, I stopped taking lessons, but I still would sit at my piano and try to play things every so often. I also, during that time, I also ran a piano studio. So I kind of used teaching as a way to like keep music in my life and everything like that. But having been in Toronto this past year, I actually didn't have a piano. So I didn't play like at all this year. So when I finally came back and there was like a piano at my house, I was super excited, and I just like spent a lot of time at the piano. So yeah, it has been consistent, but there have been kind of breaks here and there as well.
Wow. So when you do the collaborations with your friends, and I think your sister did one with you, right?
Yes.
Is it like, do you do the song first and then like you send it to them, or like how do you do those?
Yeah, so those are really interesting. How it works a little bit different for everyone, depending on like who I'm doing it with and what instrument I'm integrating. But typically what I do is like when someone wants to do a collab with me, we'll set up a phone call and just kind of bounce back ideas off of each other about, you know, what instruments should play which part, and like if we want to throw in like a little bit of a jazzy twist or like anything that's a little different from the normal song. And then, so then I usually try to whip up very quickly like a rough draft of what my piano part would sound like. And then I send it over to whoever I'm doing a collab with, and then they'll listen to what I sent them, and they'll kind of make their part while listening to mine, and then send me a recording back. And then when I get the recording back from them, I re-record myself to make sure that I match them. And then I piece it together on Adobe Premiere. So that's how it works.
Wow, you're busy.
I thought it was live, actually, the way it looks like when the video comes up.
Yeah, it's very well done.
Oh no, did she freeze again?
Oh. She looks good. It's fine.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, you guys froze for a second. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, that's okay. We'll try to power through it.
So what's been your favorite, like, I know you said in your original post that like rap was kind of hard to do, but I've noticed you've kind of like tried to do a few like Post Malone ones and stuff, and like kind of in the hip hop genre. Have they been like as hard as you expected? I wonder if she was listening.
I'll text her in the chat.
Well, everyone can donate to Keys for COVID. Get your song requests in.
Yes, definitely. While we figure this out, you can donate right now.
Go donate, yeah.
Hi. Sorry, you guys cut out for me. So Jill, you were talking about, last thing I heard was something about how originally I said to stay away from like rap music or something.
Yeah, my question was just like, I know you said like rap and hip hop might be a bit like difficult, and I was wondering, because I noticed you like tried a few, and I was wondering if it was like as hard as you were expecting.
Yeah, so originally I thought that it was like I wanted to, I thought that it wouldn't be possible to do it, just because a lot of those songs, like with rapping, I can't exactly use the piano to rap, and obviously I can't rap myself, so that's out of the question. But yeah, it actually, like, I think for sure there are still songs out there that I listen to where I would definitely struggle a lot to put on the piano, but so far I've tried a few of them, and I've realized that I just have to get very creative with them, but I think they're doable as well. So,
how many times? Oh, sorry, Josh.
Well, a small comment. The Mo Bamba one was really cool. Where it's like, I think it's like 5 or 6 of you on the screen, all doing different things.
Yeah, that one was a huge pain, but it was also like probably one of my favorite covers I've made, because it just like made me have to get so creative to come up with the different types of sounds and stuff.
When you get a request for a song that you've never heard before, how many times do you have to listen to it before you can like make a cover of it?
So I think it depends on the song as well. Sometimes melodies just stick with me better than others do. So if it's one of the ones that, for example, Josh, you requested Patience by the Lumineers, and I had actually never heard of that song before you requested it. And I listened to it right after you requested it. And that one probably I probably had to listen to it twice just because it felt very natural to me. But there are times where I have to listen to it, like I have to kind of keep it in my head for a few days and think about like what I can do on the piano before I actually do anything. So it really depends.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah, the Patience one is, I only really knew about it because at the concerts, though, like the Lumineers will usually use that as like an intro, not an intro, sorry, but like what do you call it when they take a break?
Intermission.
Intermission.
Yeah, intermission. That's a hard word. But they usually have just the piano guy come out and play that. But it's so like simple and so good. But I could see how like the other songs, like we were talking before the show started, that this is kind of become like your full-time job now.
Yeah, no, it has kind of become my full-time job, but I'm not complaining because I know that the more requests means like more donation, which means bigger impact. So that's really all I'm after with this project.
Yeah.
I've seen
Oh.
a lot of, we do everything. I'm so sorry.
You go.
I'm so sorry. It was more of a comment, but just like I've seen some other people kind of start creative initiatives like this, like using their talent like with art. Or I guess that's one of the only ones I've seen. But yeah, I think it's so great what you're doing, and like you've kind of inspired people to like channel a creative side of themselves to like and use their hobbies to like reach out and help other people. So I think that's so great.
Oh, thank you, Jill. That's so sweet.
Okay, your turn, Josh.
Okay. No, I was gonna ask. I'm curious to like how does it work with the food banks? Like, how do you know how much to give to each food bank?
So what I'm planning on doing, I've picked 6 food banks. 5 of them are from Alberta and 1 of them is in Ontario. What I'm planning on doing is at the end of the project, I'm planning on getting all the proceeds and dividing them up equally and giving them to each food bank equally. So my goal for this project would be to be able to give each food bank $1,000, which means in total I will have to raise $6,000. So that's my goal.
Wow.
Eventually, whatever the total result is going to be or total amount is going to be, it's going to be divided equally between everyone. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to start an Instagram campaign to get you to 6,000.
Yeah.
6,000.
Yeah. You're like over a third of your way there after 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, no, the support has been incredible, and there's been a lot of people in the community who have made quite generous donations. So I'm very grateful for that.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, there's a business term called critical mass, and I bet you now that all the newsletters are like writing about you and stuff, you're probably going to reach that at some point, and they'll just start going like this. Nothing else.
Wow.
I see business school taught you well, Josh.
Yeah, I have a degree now, so I got to use it.
No big deal. You have a degree now.
What else are you doing, Anna? Like,
oh, wow. Go ahead, please.
We're so in sync today.
I know.
No, mine was actually off topic, so you go ahead.
Mine wasn't really on topic either, but I was just wondering, since you've been since you've started law school, have you been like missing the creative side of things? Kind of like, was it nice to get back into the piano? And I know obviously you were part of the marketing club with us, so like you don't really probably get to do a lot of the fun like creative marketing stuff either. So it must be nice to get back into that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was actually saying to one of my friends, like probably like 3 or 4 days after I launched the project and started getting requests, I like said to my friend that I didn't realize how much I missed like the whole idea of creating something, because that's definitely something I didn't do this year. Even in my undergrad, like you said, Jill, like I was part of UAMA for 2 years. So that was obviously very fun, and it had a lot of opportunity for creativity. Even in my undergrad, like I ran a piano studio, so that even had kind of a lot of opportunity for creativity. But this past year in Toronto, I actually didn't do anything like that. So yeah, I'm definitely very happy and was very excited to launch this, and definitely missed it a lot. So
you should start a law podcast next semester.
I talked to you about that, Josh.
Yeah,
So
I remember.
I know enough about the law to actually do that.
Well, maybe that's a perspective people are looking for.
Just wrong information.
Yeah. Did you have a question, Josh? Because I cut you off before.
Oh,
you said it was off.
So I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like, if I did this, I'd be so bad, because I remember I was like, my parents forced me to go to piano lessons, but I just like I don't know why I never got into it, but like all I can do now is like the knuckle song, and that's about it.
Yeah, if anyone requests the knuckle song, definitely do a collab with Josh.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll keep you in mind for that, Josh.
You should put that on the website as like $1,000 donation for a knuckle song collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. I like it. No, but I totally like I hated piano when I was younger. Like I hated practicing. It's definitely something that is it's a completely different thing, I felt, because normally with activities when you do as a kid, you have like set times for it, right? Like if you're I don't know, like I also used to figure skate. So with figure skating, you had set practice times, and I'm sure that's the same way with like soccer. Jill, you probably know about that. But
Yeah.
but for piano, it's a bit different because you have your set lesson time with your teacher, and then you have to make the time every single day to practice. And so as a kid, that's obviously not something that any kid wants to do, myself included. So it makes sense why you didn't get into it, Josh. But you got the knuckle song out of it, so you're practically like Mozart. So
Yeah, same level. Is there anybody that like now you look up to as people that play like really good piano, or do you just like to do it like on your own kind of thing?
I enjoy playing. Like I think I've been very fortunate growing up to have met a lot of very, very talented musicians. I definitely look up to every single person that I've done a collab with, just because I know for myself when I was taking piano when I grew up, I didn't do a lot of collaborative work. So it was all very like individual. Like I would enter in piano competitions and I would play my song like by myself on the stage, and that was it. So it's really amazed me how many people have just been so good at like being able to listen to my part and come up with their own part, or even just hear different instruments or hear different rhythms than I can. So yeah, I definitely like I look up to everyone that can play music, to be honest, because I think everyone who can play music knows something a little bit different than I do. So yeah, there's always room to learn from me.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I look up to anyone that can play music, but for different reasons because I can't.
That includes you and your knuckle song, Josh.
Yeah. So if you could collaborate with anybody on a song, who would that be, like in your wildest dreams?
Other than Josh.
Yeah.
Damn, that was my answer actually. So actually, funny enough, I tried to give Drake a shout out during my interviews, all three of them, but no one took that part of the clip and broadcast that. So that's unfortunate. But I think like if I could collab with anyone, like 100%, like Beyonce. I just like love her so much. I would definitely not do her justice, but I would love to have her there with me.
What song of did you want to do?
Halo by Beyonce.
Oh, nice. That'd be really good.
But if Drake is watching this, and Josh isn't cut anything out, I would also be down to do a collab with Drake.
I'll put his name in the comments.
Yeah, we'll tag him.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm sure he'll call me up soon. So
yeah, for sure. Well, we have like 500 followers, so I'm sure he's probably one of them.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Jill, do you have any other questions for Anna?
So did you say that you would do this until you got to your goal of 6,000, or when do you see this kind of wrapping up? Because before your fingers fall off from playing piano.
I'm not sure. I started this project because for myself, my last exam was at the end of April, and I began my summer job at the beginning-ish of June. So I kind of thought I have nothing to do throughout May, so I might as well start this project and try to make as big of an impact as I can. So I'm not sure what I'm not sure when it's going to end. I would love, in an ideal world, I would love to continue running this throughout the summer. As long as I have a piano, I would love to continue doing this. But I think things will definitely change once I start my summer job. Whether or not that's going to mean I'm ending the project, not necessarily, but yeah, my goal is 6,000, but I would obviously, I'm hoping to raise as much as I can. So.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Are you working like remotely in June? Or are you going back to Toronto?
No, I'm working remote, so it got put to online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. No, Jill has a job.
Yes, I do have a job.
What's your job, Jill?
I am the social media coordinator at Zhang.
I love it.
Thank you. Yes, me too. I just started, so I'll be doing that throughout the summer. I'm very excited. It's also remote, so yeah.
Is that where you were last year, or is this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're pumping gas at the co-op, so if you want to stop by.
Yeah, Josh will be at Costco back in.
Sorry, what did you say, Jill?
What?
Sorry, what did you say, Jill? I missed what you said.
No, Josh goes.
Oh.
No, we're not on tonight. It's an off.
Yeah, we were.
Okay, well, I will end this stream, but don't exit. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This is very unprofessional, but thank you for coming on, Anna.
Yeah, thank you so much for